When you're going up against the likes of Apple, when you're going up against the likes of BlackBerry, they're a long way behind them. It's going to be a long road to recovery.
OK, Henk, we'll leave it there. But Henk Potts at Barclays, well, thanks for your time this afternoon. Now, one other story for you, and people who don't own their own home are more pessimistic than ever about their chances of getting on the property ladder. New research for the Halifax shows that 2/3 of adults who don't own a house don't believe they'll ever be able to do so because of the large deposit they require, and it means that more of us are renting instead. Well, Henry Pryor is with me. He's independent housing market expert. Henry, thanks for joining us. Good to see you. A lot of this has been brought about because of this tougher lending criteria. Simply, banks are not lending, and it also means you need a bigger deposit. Are things going to change?
Well, as the banking guru Henk Potts was telling us a moment ago, property is very much in the news and on the minds of the business community because a lot of people are now starting to realise that this is actually the new norm. We're going to see this through the next 2 or 3 years. More and more people are going to be renting their home. We've often talked about an Englishman's home being his castle. I think we're going to see the Englishman actually renting his castle rather than owning it outright.
And many first-time buyers saying this is an indication that the property market is stacked against them. There is very few ways for them to get this first foot on the property ladder. What needs to change to make that happen?
Well, I think we need to get a realisation and an acceptance that the housing market is a complicated and expensive place to be. It's now very costly to transact. Stamp duty rates are heinously high. So actually getting onto the housing ladder, if you can find mortgage finance to do it, is exceptionally difficult. Renting no longer carries the sort of snub that people used to regard people who rented property. And as a result, we're seeing more people looking to rent. And much more importantly, we're seeing many more people coming into the old buy-to-let sector. People looking and accepting the idea of being a landlord because there is this demand, this pent-up demand from people who want to rent property.
Well, absolutely. And if you're a landlord, this is good news for you, of course, because if more people are looking to rent and you have property to rent, it's a good time for them.
It's a very good time for them. We've seen encouragement from the government just recently, actually, in the last budget, where they made changes to stamp duty land tax so people can buy and invest in significant numbers in the private rented sector. We've got to move away from this fact that renting is cool and the next generation regard it as such. Generation rent, they're calling it. They're accepting the idea of renting property, not owning it.
OK, Henry, we'll leave it there. But Henry Pryor, thanks very much for your time.